And we're back with Vincent Jenna. Vincent, before we go to calls, let's finish up on negativity. It truly is something that destroys us, doesn't it?
It is, but the wonder about that is that positiveness totally overtakes negative. It is why we have one proton in an atom. A proton is charged positively. The electrons are charged negatively. One proton can hold and keep several electrons floating around it. So that is scientific proof that positive is stronger than negative. All we have to do is start living individual positive lives, and we will feed into that positive pool, taking care of all that nonsense that's inside of us that brings us down, that makes us feel less than. Work on that, and you actually will be feeding into the positive healing energy of the earth, and it's more powerful than you can imagine. And it doesn't take a miracle in order for that to happen. It takes commitment to yourself to feel your worth and your value, to be able to live an unlimited life, and going after it and committing to doing it constantly and doing the work. That's what I write about in my book all the time and talk about and teach others, is doing that positive work for yourself because you deserve it. And that will heal the world. Totally.
Your spirit guide, Joseph, when he comes to you, how often does that happen?
Joseph will speak to me just like Spirit speaks to me, just like the Intergalactic Council will speak to me as often as they want or as often as I need. But Joseph will trance through me when I set that up. So I don't do that as often because it's usually just for my wife and myself or a couple of friends of ours. But as long as he's talking with me, I can tap into it all the time. Like just before you came back from break, I was actually talking with Joseph and I was talking with Spirit, and I said, listen, do me a favor. Help me remain open today to be able to give the messages out that is going to be in the best and highest interest of the callers. So they will help me with that. They'll help me clear those channels, and so will Archangel Michael keep that channel open for me. So I turn to them frequently to get guidance.
Now, when you do your readings, are you getting help from the Intergalactic Alien Council as well?
The only time they will step in is if a person tells me that they have had an involvement, a connection, a contact with an extraterrestrial or an alien, a sighting or any kind of abduction, or dream, anything like that. That's when the Intergalactic Council will step in so to help me better understand what this person has been through and give this person more answers. Yes, that's when they will step in.
Let's go to the phones. Let's go to our wild card. Daryl is in Phoenix to get us started. Hi, Daryl.
Hi, good evening. My question was past lives, like both good. When we say karma, we think, oh, that's bad. But I'm talking about things both positive and negative. Like in my life, I've had crazy-ass favor as a kid. I would win like every contest on the radio. My dad got annoyed because I had to keep going to L.A. to pick up my record albums, my bicycle, my radio-controlled airplane, all kinds of stuff I would win. And I've always just been able to walk in and get a job. It's like, but I hadn't, in my mind, done anything different. Is it just a mindset? But then on the negative side, my mom gradually went deaf. I'm gradually going blind. What is the factor that causes our experiences?
Causes that. Okay. Well, one of the major things that does cause experience, like you were talking about, is some past lives, you will bring some information in with you. But, Darryl, I will tell you right from the get-go, it's your mindset. When you were a young kid, you didn't think that you were going to be in trouble. You didn't think that everything was going to go against you. You automatically had this miracle type of view, this positive outlook, the warm, fuzzy outlook on life, and that wasn't taken away from you until you started to get older. But winning those small things to you were nothing. It was just nothing. And as soon as it happened one time, it was very easy for you to believe. And you put that energy just out into the universe, and you kept manifesting these small things. Now, what happens as you get older and you want to manifest some of the bigger things, now you're talking about greater stakes. And when the stake raises, you need your belief and faith needs to rise with it. So maintain that childish beauty that you had when you were younger, that innocent look at life, and just knowing that you can win at anything that you want, even till today. So it has nothing to do with karma. Karma is not a law, it's a principle. So you don't have to go through anything karmically, and it does have positive as well as negative associated with it. But you came into this world as a very positive little boy. And so you hold on to that and go back to that belief, you'll still create more positives for yourself yet to come, okay?
Thank you. Vincent, when you talked earlier about the Akashic Records, who feeds those records the information?
We do. We're connected there. We're connected to everything. We're connected to dimensions. We're connected just like spirit, like it says that God is everywhere. Well, so are we. We're part of everything. We're feeding into it just the same way as our energy feeds into a pool of other energy. Our thoughts, our experiences feed into that library source, the Akashic Records is what it's been called. So we directly feed into it with each of our thoughts, with each of our experiences.
Let's go to Lisa in the city of New York. Welcome to the show, Lisa.
Hi, George. How are you?
Great. Hope you are too.
Thank you, yes. Hi, Vincent. Nice
Hey,
to talk.
Lisa. How are you tonight? What's your question for me, hon?
I'm okay. Well, I wanted to know the man who I met last year and was with for a few short months before he passed away. I wanted to know, did I have past lives with him? And, were we married? Is he my soulmate? And if so, then what happened this lifetime? Did we have a soul contract that we would only have a short time together? Or did something go wrong that we were supposed to meet sooner, but we didn't?
Lisa, that is such an incredible question and very insightful. Yes, most of the people that you have any kind of a close relationship with, you've had past life experiences with. What I'm getting for the two of you is that you were actually very young together in a past life, a young boy, a young girl, and kind of like had that childish love for each other, and you thought back then that you were going to complete that as you grew up. You thought you would be together forever. But I'm seeing an ending again of both your lives back then because of illness that came through your community and just wiped away so many people. And so you both died young. And so in this lifetime, you said, well, let's not get together when we were young. Let's wait until we're a little bit older. But the problem is when we come in, Lisa, we may have the best laid plans before we get here, but then life happens here. And so we get caught up in it. And unfortunately, what happened with him is there were things that had gone on in his past, in his childhood, in his life that he had never healed, that he didn't work on. And so what it did is you still allowed yourselves to meet, but because he didn't finish or he didn't heal what he needed to heal with himself, it caught up with him and he left. So it's not that it was supposed to. It wasn't the contract that it was supposed to be short. But at least I will tell you this, because you met him, because you had that relationship, even if it was such a short period of time, you helped him take love with him. And you were left with some of that memory and some of that love. Don't think you did anything wrong. Think, at least since you've met each other, that something positive came out of that meeting and absolutely helped him to move on, Lisa. So just understand it wasn't your fault, and it wasn't so much his, other than you got just caught up in life. And that's sometimes the way it does happen. So sorry that happened for you, but just look at it that way. You gave him something, he gave you something.
Thank you, Lisa. I hope that works out for you. When you get these feelings, the impressions, how quickly does it come to you, Vince? You're very fast.
As instantaneously as I allow it. So the more open I am, that's why I set myself up prior to everybody calling so that I can open the channel. I go into a slight meditation and open those doorways. And it's that way for everybody. The information is constantly flowing, and we're all connected to it. We just have to kind of open up our eyes. It's kind of like when you first wake up in the morning, you open your eyes and you kind of rub them to get them nice and clear, and then all of a sudden the picture comes in sharp. But that's exactly what I do with my senses in order to get the information. I kind of rub them and make sure that they're sharp.
Next up, we go to Lucille in Modesto, California. Hi, Lucille.
Hello there. How are you this evening?
Great. Go ahead.
I wanted like a brief picture of the future.
All right, simple as that, Vince.
Okay, that's fine. Lucille, I want you to start thinking of yourself as more than, bigger than. There's so much more for you to be able to do. You've got skills and talents to tap into and to use in life. Don't be feeling that because you're getting older, that life is winding down. You're absolutely able to contribute to it more. I especially want you to take care of your health and get re-energized. I'm feeling your energy a little bit low, but you can do more than that. You can do a little bit more walking out there or exercise in some way. Do some cleansing with some natural juices. That will help you a lot. But absolutely look at your life and say, hey, I've got these abilities. I've got this experience all accumulated. I'm going to start using it in a positive, inspiring way. And that's what's coming up for you, to inspire others. You're going to be inspiring others. So think about that and absolutely focus on, I've got more of life to live and give. So just go for it, Lucille.
Okay, good luck, Lucille. Hope everything works out for you. Next up, let's go to Jeremy in North Dakota. Hi, Jeremy. Go ahead.
Hello, Vincent. Nearly 20 years ago, I was in a near-fatal auto accident. I was immediately in a coma for 2.5 months. Can you tell me why I was sent back from the coma realm?
Oh, because you're not done, Jeremy. I know when you get into coma, usually your soul is off and out of your body, and so that it's not experiencing that. And a lot of times people don't want to come back from a coma because their soul is basically on the other side, seeing the goodness and the positiveness and that kind of stuff. You're actually supposed to be asking yourself right now, Jeremy, okay, since I am alive, that means I'm meant to do more here. Show me what it is that I am meant to do. Show me my involvement with others that I'm meant to have, because that is more important right now. Your relationships, your love life, your soul wants to experience that before you leave. You have not had the chance to experience all of that in a very positive, constructive way. Now is the time for you to be able to accumulate that. Basically, you had kind of a near-death experience. I would recommend joining the organization IANS, International Association of Near-Death Studies, so you can understand more of what you went through and what's more to come. You've got a lot more living to do, Jeremy, and enjoyment of life so that you get to understand who you really are. I wish you the best with that. You're not in a coma anymore.
Do you just lay it out there? You're very positive, Vincent, but do you ever give people bad news?
Oh, well, I will give them bad news if they're going in a bad direction, but there's always a positive at the end of that news, because if I get it, it means that it can be changed. So I have told people, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to die in 6 months. I have just laid it out like that. As a matter of fact, I did that at an event at the Education Association Research of and Enlightenment in Virginia Beach. And, I got yes from the audience, because they couldn't believe I said something so destructive like that. But then I followed it up with, you have the capacity to take care of yourself. You're deserving to be alive. You have to look at yourself better. That woman and her husband came up to me and thanked me, because she said, nobody has ever said it to me like that. I will take care of myself. She had stage 4 diabetes. She wasn't doing anything about it at all. And because I presented it to her and cared about her enough, she started taking care of her life, and she is healthy now, and she's actually rid herself of diabetes. She contacted me.
That's amazing.
Yes, I will lay out the negative if you have to hear it that way. I liken it like you and I are walking down the street, and I look up and I see it, this tall building, and there's a piano being moved from the 40th floor up to the 50th floor. The rope breaks, and that piano is now headed towards our head. I can do one of three things. I can run across the street and leave you there and say, sorry, sucker, that's your karma, not mine. Or I can tap you on the shoulder and nicely intervene. Excuse me, I know it's not my right to really, convince you to do anything. By the time I get out one sentence, we'll both be dead. Or I can grab you by the shoulders and I can throw you out of the way and get out of the way myself. Now, you may land on the ground and sprain your wrist or break your ankle, but I've saved your life. How would you like me to deal with you today? And everybody tells me to shake me by the shoulders and throw me out of the way. And that's why I'm the tell it like it is psychic.
And what do you mean when you talk about incarnating here?
Well, we come in physical form. To incarnate means to take physical form in the earthly plane. So we all go from lifetime. Once we leave physical form, we're in spirit form. We're in energy. And so when we want to live in this earth, yes, we can come down to it without body, without form, just like our guides float around and angels are around us all the time. But if we want to have physical experiences, we need to take on a physical body. We need to come into a pregnant woman's embryo and come in there and start growing with that body. So that is to incarnate. Incarnate means you can be non-incarnate in between lives, but incarnate means to take on a physical life.
Next up, we go to Loretta in Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome to the show. Hi, Loretta.
Hi, George. I just wanted to tell you, I am 85 years old, and I've been active all my life. And I don't know, and I'm in fairly good health for 85. But this past year, I just feel like a lost soul, and I'm searching for a purpose. And I'm wondering if you had any suggestions how to get out of this.
Suggestions. Loretta, you are filled with so much experience and knowledge at this point in your life. You're meant to share that with others. There is a book in you that you have yet to write. And you need to sit down and start writing some of the things you know, not just your memoir, but some of the experiences. What did you gain from some of your experiences? And you've got a lot of positiveness there. One of the reasons why you feel lost is because you feel that you're not important in this world anymore because you're getting older. And unfortunately, our society has done that to the elderly. Cast them aside. They're not important anymore. They can't be productive in life, so we're not going to pay attention to them. Back in the past, all we did was turn to the elderly because they had the best information. Well, guess what, Loretta? You have the best information in you, and it needs to be shared now. I don't care if it's small journal articles. I don't care if you create a talk and you go to libraries and you do library sessions and have people come just like they have the kids come. They do readings, and you start sharing some of your stories. You've got wonderful stories. You've got wonderful information that needs to get out there. You understand that now? Definitely go for that, Loretta.
Thanks, Loretta. Appreciate it. We're with Vincent Jenna. You're welcome. How do people get your book, Vince?
All they have to do, they can go to Amazon, and it's in audio form, it's in ebook, and it's also in paperback. And you get it, I'm telling you right now, and it's not because I want to sell my book, but I want to give the information that helps you heal your life and turn it around and create the life that you really want. There's message in there that's 40 years of experience in that small little paperback book, and it's been helping thousands of people all over the world today, even just picking it up and reading it through one time.
Can people contact you through your website?
Yes, you go to my website, of course, and that's where you can set up a personal interview. I do either a half hour or an hour, and I'm telling you right now, there'll be more information in there than you got from your therapist after 12 years of experience.
I believe that, Vincent.
This is what we do.
We're gonna come back and take final calls with you in just a moment on Coast to Coast AM. And welcome back, George Norrie, Vincent Jenna with us, and your final calls as well. Vincent, I want to thank you again for the fine job that you always do when you're on this program.
George, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to be able to share my messages and myself. It's a time where we need more people like you to help put that information out into the world, and I so appreciate that. So thank you for letting me be here tonight.
Well, I always have believed that in the end we're going to win. From evil, from darkness.
Going to win.
Perfect.
Absolutely, George. Because that's who we are. That's who, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking of a picture. It's like the way that the omnipotent power, the big force, wound up creating us is by taking a part of itself and dividing it into us. And so people ask me, how spiritual, do I know I am? I said, well, it's really easy. Take this phrase, I am God, and sit there with it for a minute. And to the degree that you can accept that is the degree that you have grown and evolved. The degree that you cannot accept that and it bothers you saying it, lets you know how far off the path you are. Because we truly are. We've been taught, unfortunately, through lifetime and generation after generation, that we're less than, that we're lowly creatures, that we're sinners, that we're always making mistakes. It is so hard-pressed for us to think of ourselves as these unlimited beings, that we're magnificent and divine individually and as a whole. And so, yes, you keep telling somebody that they're worthless, they're not good enough, they're not smart enough, they're going to start acting that way. And that's what you're seeing happening in the world today. You're seeing a bunch of people who have absolutely no self-value, so they're lashing out at the world. If we started to understand that we are divine, we're part of something greater, then we'd start acting that way. And we have that opportunity. There's plenty of information out there now, and it's been out there for a long time. Us just understanding aliens is not enough, because that information has been here for a long time. Matter of fact, we understood them far greater in the past than we have now. It's about application, George, applying this information, applying what we're supposed to be believing about ourselves, applying the work to get rid of anything that keeps us from believing that. The application of this knowledge is what's most important. Otherwise, it's nothing than a bookstore, a library filled with wonderful books, but absolutely of no value because we're not applying it.
Let's go to final calls west of the Rockies. Robert in the state of Washington. Hey, Robert, go ahead, sir.
Hi, I had a question about past pets that have passed away.
Okay.
And is there anything you could tell me?
What can you say about past pets, Vince?
Past pets. Oh, let me tell you something. Past pets are very important because we feed into their energy, and the love that we give them never goes away. I want you to look up the poem Rainbow Bridge, the Rainbow Bridge, and that will give you an answer as to exactly what happens. Their energy form, it stays as energy. Once energy is formed, it cannot be destroyed. And once it's fed into, it stays exactly the way it was fed into. So all that love and that pet is waiting until you then go and cross over. When you cross over, that energy melds into yours, and it's a way of you evolving. It's a way of all of us evolving. So the more we love creatures on this earth, pets on this earth, the more we're going to gain once we get to the other side, because that is the greatest source that we can receive is that love. We get it back. So those pets are still alive. And don't be surprised if you even see them or feel them after they are deceased, because they do come around and stay around. That energy hovers around you because you're all they really know and all they love in return. So, yes, they'll be there, Robert, for you when you get to the other side, and look for them in your home now.
Why are pets so innocent, Vincent?
Well, because they don't have the same reasoning abilities. They can't make the same screwed-up mistakes that we make.
Yeah.
It's the temperament. Life was created that way. Each form of life, from the smallest little bug and plant and weed to the greatest of creatures that are on, whether it be whales in the ocean or dolphins or the gorillas and even some of our plants, right? They're vibrational forces, each life, and one is higher than the other. Well, the animals, the pets, are a lower form than we are, but yet higher than a plant, higher than a bug. And so they will act innocent because they can't create mess up, okay? They're going to act temperamentally. The way they have natural instinct to survive, right? So they're going to do what they need to be able to survive, but they're also trainable because, again, we have dominion. Our energy feeds into them. And so the love that we give them and the way we treat them like babies, as a matter of fact, they can act that way. But you can also treat them the wrong way, and now all of a sudden you see the vicious side come out. It's almost like they're a reflection for us to examine ourselves, examine what unconditional love is, because that's what they give back to us, and examine their personality and their characteristics because we're feeding into that as well. So we can learn more about ourselves through our pets.
East of the Rockies, we've got Nick in Arkansas. Hey, Nick, go ahead, sir.
Hey, George, I'm a long-time listener all the way back to Art Bell in '95, I think.
Thank you, sir.
And I really enjoyed your show tonight, especially Mr. Vincent. Really been educational. I try to be a positive person. But this last week, I was diagnosed with, I just got out of the hospital yesterday, but diagnosed with cancer in my liver. I don't know how much because they hadn't told me, but in my liver and my pancreas and 2 blood clots in my lungs. And I was wanting to know if Vincent has an outlook for me, and then I got 2 other little questions if I can answer them, you know.
Yeah, I am so sorry to hear that, Nick. All right, now is the time for you to take a positive journey for yourself. You have to start turning things around from your past, because what I'm seeing is a lot of the negative experiences you've been through when you were younger is caught up to you and has actually become cancers for you. The liver is a filtration system. The pancreas helps to create insulin to help us digest our food, right? And it also creates an insulin is like a sugar form, and it helps with the sugar and the sweet things of life. Well, a lot of the sweet things of life have been taken away from you when you were younger, and that is eating at you. The more you release that, the more you will help your treatment, okay? I cannot tell you if you're going to live or die, Nick, because that's not for me to know, nor is it for you to be able to better yourself. You have to act as if you are living. You have to believe that your life is valuable, and you have to put all that positive energy into healing yourself. I'm telling you right now, if I could send you a book, I would send you my book, because if you do the work in it and you start really caring about little Nick inside and letting him know how beautiful he really is, that the way he was treated does not define his value and his worth. And the more of that internal emotional cleaning that you do, the more you will help clean your body. Because remember, cancer is your own body fighting against you. It's not an outside force. It's an inside force. And that inside force can be influenced by your inside thoughts and beliefs. Change those, and you can change the outcome of your life. It can be very positive for you, Nick. So just go after it and start really pushing yourself up on the pedestal rather than down below. You're valuable. You're more worth than you believe you are. And I wish you the best, Nick.
Nick, we'll put you on the prayer list. And you had a couple more quick questions. Go ahead.
Yes, I did. My wife passed away 2 years ago from COVID in January 16th. And I just wanted to know if everything's going all right.
You're not meant to go over here. She is absolutely fine. All my guides are telling me right now she is doing great. Her biggest concern is for you. And she wants you. She never felt the same value that I am telling you should be feeling for yourself. I mean, you've had one thing after another thrown at you in this life. It's almost like Job from the Bible here going on, Nick. Turn it around. You are still alive because you're meant to turn this around, and she will help you. You'll dream about her. Maybe you'll feel her. Keep that channel open and start really opening the senses and working on cleansing, and you will be able to feel her and that she is great. She's in good hands. She's on the loving side right now. She wants you to experience that positiveness while you're still alive before you come over onto the other side. Okay, Nick?
Perfect. Okay, let's go next to Rick in Massachusetts. Rick, go ahead.
Hey, George. Hey, Vincent.
Hi, Rick.
Great show tonight.
Hey, Rick.
How are you?
Doing great.
Yeah, I'm Rick. I'm the paper boy from Lenox, Mass. I'm an empath, a paranormal investigator. I got through tonight, and I usually try to get through, and I don't get through very often, maybe once a couple months ago. So I know there's probably a reason for me to get through. But I have a question, a comment. My comment is, yeah, as an empath, when you talked about the negativity, that really hits home for me because obviously it's very difficult for me to be around negative people. Really affects me, and I just feel like it's so much poison people put out they don't realize. I'm trying to contact my spirit guides, which is another quick question, but I was wondering about a reading. I've had a very serious, chronic illness for about 10, 12 years. It's ruined my life pretty much. I mean, I lost 3 businesses, so I'm down to doing this just at night, and I don't know if I'm on the right track. I don't know if I just need to sell my house. Every time we think we have answers, first it was chronic Lyme and then it was mold. So I just don't know, if I should just give up and sell my house or if I'm on the track to, recovery on that.
All right. What do you think, Vince?
All right, Rick, let me help you get on the right track, okay? I need you to understand something about being an empath, okay? First of all, there is no such thing as victimization in life. Everything happens for a reason. We're learning about ourselves. We manifest everything, okay? That's first. Second of all, you would be a victim if you felt everybody else's negativity and pain. But what happens is everybody else's negativity and pain incites and inflames your own. So what you're actually feeling is your own pains from your past, your own hurts and scars that are within, and giving you the signal that that's what needs to be changed and worked on. Your sensitivity to the environment would change. I'm not getting that the house alone, selling the house alone is going to heal everything. Going within and getting back and getting that stuff out of you, just like a mold. Think of it, since you've got your mind set on that, think of you having mold inside of you, not physically, not a physical mold, but an emotional mold that is just eating away at the positiveness that's going on, and there's where your chronic illness is coming from. Get rid of that stuff that bothers you the most, that's within you, and if you go down, you'll see it within you. It's little Rick is holding on to it for sure. I'm seeing too much negativity also, again, in your past. There's so many people that are experiencing that stuff. So selling is not going to be the answer. Working on healing yourself emotionally from your emotional past, that is going to be your answer. And that's the most positive thing you can do. And I believe you can do it because you have the fortitude and you've got an attitude that once you set your mind to something, you can do it. Well, set your mind to healing your emotional self, and you will heal your physical self the same way. I promise you that. Okay, Rick?
All right, thank you. I wish we could get all the other phones, Vince. They keep rolling in. We only have a minute and a half left, and I want you to take some time to tell people where they can get your book and what they get when they go to your website.
Well, you go to my website and you get to connect with me. You get to connect with all my other social platforms that I'm on, my podcast that I do, The Jenna Effect, Become Unstoppable, and you can get my book. The link is there on my website, but the book, you just go to Amazon.com, and you can get the audio version. And actually, any book retailer online, you can get it from Barnes & Noble and everything. But you can go to Audible and get the audio version of it, as well as the ebook at Amazon. And sign up for my newsletter because I'm coming around to different areas, and I also have different classes to help people really evolve and gain their greatest guidance and abilities and bring them to the surface to use to be able to create what they really want in their lives. So go to my website, sign up there, go to my other social media platforms, see me there, like the pages, and you'll be able to connect with me. Send me emails. I write back to people. That's the best way to really be in touch with me. And if you want a reading, then just sign up for a reading there, and then you'll get even more further information really deep.
Vincent, thank you for being on the show. Keep in touch, all right?
Absolutely, George. Thank you so much. You're definitely a gift to life and a blessing, so thank you so much.
For Dan Galante, Tom Danheiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Lonehood, Sean Ladisor, Stephanie Smith, Chris Burrows, Tim Banal, George Knapp, and Ian Punnett, I'm George Norrie, somewhere out there on Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next edition. Until then, be safe, everyone.